Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about basic commands in Linux or Unix. So first we will see how to execute the date command. So date is the command to see the current time of your system. So this is the default format of your date and time, so that displays by the system when you give the command date. So suppose if you need a specific format, so how can we apply the formats to this date? Let's see. Date. We have options called year. So we have to apply %y to give year. And then if you want month, it is small m. And if you want date, day of the month means you can give small d. Let's try this. I have got the year, month, and then date. And suppose if you want to separate with any character, you can try that. Okay, so this is how the date can be printed. And suppose if you want to see some more formats, let's try. For hour, minute, and second. Okay, and suppose if you also want to know which time zone you are currently there. Let me try with capital Z. So okay, this is the including the time zone, you can see it. So this is the date command, how you can access it. So if you want to see more formats available, you can use date -help. So you can see the formats. So these are the formats, you can use it as per your requirement. Okay. Try with date -l. So you can see the available formats. Hope you are clear with the date command, how to use it. Next we will see another command, calendar. So by default, calendar is showing us the current month with the date. So suppose now I want the calendar for 3 months. So the option is cal-3, current month along with the previous month and then next month. Suppose I want to see the calendar. Let me clear my screen for entire year. So you can specify the year as the argument for your command. So I can see from January to December. Starting month is January here, ending month is December. So 12 months calendar, you can see it. So like that you can change the year also as per your requirement. So now it's showing for this year 2020. Now let me try. Suppose now I want year. So I'm using capital Y option. So now if you see, we used capital Y option, year. So this year starting from May. I want the calendar starting from May 2020 and 12-month calendar. So it is ending with April 2021. So like this also you can try. We want calendar starting from the current month to 12 months. Okay, hope you understood this. And suppose you want calendar for January 2020, you can do like this as well. So you can see the calendar for January. Okay, and you can see -3 also, as we discussed. You can see January is in coming here before to the December 2019 and February after that January. So it is coming. So calculator. So the other important command is who. Who is the command? So whenever you log in, you wanted to know how many users are logged into your server. You can use the command is who. Currently I could see the only one user is logged in. Okay. So this is how you can find it. And suppose you want to see the header, you can try with this. -h is the header. You can try with -h. So you can see the header as well. This is called header. So currently there is only one user logged in. And we will see, like we also have arguments. There is one more command, who am I? So when you do who am I, you can see the who is the user logged. Okay. So if you do who am and then I space, you can see this is the session I connected to the server. This is the terminal. And we also have another command called W, and you can see what they are also doing. Suppose so here you can see the last column is there W. So if there are more users, you can see so what that user is currently executing. In this case, you can see the user has done SSH to different user. I connected it to from EC2 user to here, recognize user. So that is what it is showing it. So you can use who command to list of all users connected to your server. And if you wanted to know what they are doing on your server, you can use W command. It is advanced to the who command. And next we will see the PS command. So PS is nothing but process. Suppose I want to know what are the processes running on my server. I want to know my PID. So how can we do that? So you just do PS and then enter. So it is just giving the process running on my current shell. This is my shell. So these are the process running on my shell. There are two processes running currently on my shell, current shell. So I want to see more columns. You can use full columns. So here there are only PID, terminal, time, and then command. So here you can see the user ID as well, parent ID as well. So there are other columns also. You can see it. That is the option F. Full details you can see it. So I want to see the process which are running for other users also who are logged. That time you can use A, option A. Here you can see there are one more user. Like this is one user and there is one more user. So there are 3 users. So for all users you can see what they are running and the PIDs. So apart from this, we also have option E also we have. We see what is this option EF. So EF means you can see the many process also you can see where we don't have the terminal. So like these are all the PIDs you can see. Okay. All process you can see including user process also. So these are the user process including this you can see many process. Suppose now I want to see the process belongs to only one user. That time you can use -F and then U for which user you wanted to see. I want to see for a specific user. So you can use the user ID. Suppose I want to check the process running for root. I can see like this. Here the process running for root user. So this is the command to execute. Suppose if you know the PID, so you can check what is the step that is running or not, what is the process name. PS-P and then just let me take the PID. PS-P and then your PID. You can see the process name. So the same is displaying here. You can see only the your PID. Suppose if you have more than one PID, let me try. So like this, you can try with one more option. Two PIDs, you can see it. Suppose if you know the process name, so you have to use the grep command and then try it. So one more command we're going to discuss is ls. ls we use to list the files. So ls is the command. So here I don't have any files at this time. Let me create the files. Now I have created 3 files. You can see there are 3 files available. And if I do ls-l, you can see in the long listing format. So here also you're able to see the file, and here also you're able to see the files. But along with this file names, you're also seeing the file attributes like file type, and this is file permissions, and this is stands for link, and this is the file owner, this is group, this is the file size, these empty files, and when it created or last modified. These are the attributes, 7 attributes. These are the attributes we'll be having for any file. So -L is for long listing. So when you use long listing, you can see all these details for each and every. And let me create a directory also. So mkdir is the command to create the directory. Now you can see for directory there is D here, the starting letter. So when you do ls-l long listing. So we'll work on this ls-, one more option we'll try, -f. So when we do -f, you can see for directories you can see slash at the ending. For normal files, you will not see anything. Suppose That depends upon the file. So the last character will be added. So sometimes there will be star also if it is executable file. Sometimes there will be some special character at the rate if it is a link also you can identify. Now we will see other options. ls-l we have seen. So when you see the L, the files are listing in some order. This order is in alphabetical order. Okay. Suppose now if I do ls-lr, it is listing in now reverse order in this direction, reverse direction. Now we have one more option called T. T stands for time, the time wise. You can see here. So this is the file created recently, most recently. This is the oldest file. Suppose I want to reverse based upon the time. I'll use reverse. So now you can see that most recent file is coming on the bottom. And we also have some hidden files available. So to see your hidden files, you can use option -A. So those are, so the starting letter if you have dot means that file is called as hidden file. Suppose generally now we created one file now that is not visible when you do ls-l only. So if I do A, then you can see the hidden file. So this is how to list the hidden files. A for R. And suppose I want to use the files, I want to list the files starting with test. So the remaining characters I will specify as star. Here star represents 0 or more characters. So now I am able to access the file starting with test. Suppose you can also do like this. Now I didn't specify the starting, I specified the ending. Like this also you can do it. So you can specify n number of stars. So anywhere you can specify. Like this also you can specify. And there is one more option is there. I. The I option will give you the inode number. So each and every file will have the inode number. So whether it's a directory or a file, so it contains the inode number. So this inode number only will have will be stored these attributes. Okay. You can also LH you can do this human readable format. So here actually if you have more size here, so you can see it here. So the size will come in the human readable format. So we have 0.5, so it's not showing it. So let me go to different directory. Here you can see it here. There is, you can see here the file is not coming displaying human readable format, kilobytes, megabytes, like this. So if you want to see more options available for ls command is try with ls-l. So you can see the available options. So you can try with these options. These are the options available, many are there. You can try with it. Thank you for watching.